Mr. McLaughlin? Okay. I looked at the agenda. I did not see any resolutions on this agenda. Do any of you have any?
No, I do not.
Okay. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to, under new business, or actually it's old business, I'm going to make a motion to adopt the budget appropriation that Wolf submitted to us, dated 3/15. Trustees, I don't see a need to have another meeting on this after all the time that we've put into budgets. There's too much maneuvering going on behind the scenes for this here. So I make a motion to adopt this budget as is. Is there a second?
I prefer that we wait until the 24th and have that meeting.
So you want to make a motion to table this?
Yes, let's table it.
Okay. Okay, moving on to departmental reports. No zoning report, no code enforcement, administrator and road report. Mr. Wolf, do you want to give any report?
Briefly, good evening, trustees, fiscal officer, and the community, and our deputy and assistant fire chief. Thank you for working with us on the administrative side on giving us the okay to try to move forward for a replacement of John Callaghan. John served us so well over 4 years. He took committees, the BZA and the zoning commission, that had limited member staff on volunteers on either committee. He reorganized the committee and started moving them in the right direction. We had some people that resigned, some people passed away, and so John came into this, with his eyes wide open. John was very instrumental in helping us get the zoning established so the Montgomery County Fairgrounds could be established. But John did the best job he could do, and I expect and hope that the elected officials showing that, gratitude for what he has done. So I want to thank you for that. I'm going to let Andy Captain Flagg, talk to you about his event on the Easter egg hunt. The generators started being put in this week. Actually, on Friday, they started on Station 60. The generator is now in. If you go look at it, it's about 1/8 of the size of the old generator that was removed. So we're ready for that building to be powered up if we were to have any electrical outlet with failures. The Station 59 is got a little antiquated wiring, so with permits pulled and whatnot, the generator installer is going to take about 3 days here to install the generator at Station 59. So we no longer will have power failures like we did a couple years ago during the election day, where the power went out on the building. Also, we met with the sheriff's office, had a very extensive meeting with the combined health district investigators to work on various sites in the township that have been 20, 30, 40-year eyesores or nuisance type properties. And we're putting a game plan together, and I'm very thankful for Captain Flag and the others that participated in that meeting. I will have a written report for the administration and a written report for the road department ready for the next meeting. In the road department, I would like the opportunity, like I did 1 year ago, close to today, maybe in April, I asked for the permission to advertise for 3 seasonal employees to work from the months of April through November. And the reason why late November is so they can help with the leaf pickup. And I'd like the opportunity to do the same thing this year at the same starting wage of $13.50. These are temporary positions, on-call positions, and not guaranteed hours positions. They're under 1,500 hours in a year, which we come nowhere near that with the seasonal. But it helps us mow all some 200 vacant properties that we have in the township, and the trustees have discussed doing major road projects this year in-house, and we can't do it with the existing staff by themselves. So I'd like the permission to go ahead and advertise using the same criteria as 1 year ago to advertise for 3 seasonal road department employees to accompany the staff that we have. That is in the budget that I proposed.
Trustees, is there any objection to posting the job for seasonal employees?
It's okay with me to do that. We had someone that had another job that they had to go to, so I'm in agreement with that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Unmute for your vote, Mr. McLaughlin.
There again, don't know enough about it. There wasn't no prior knowledge. Abstain.
Okay. Mr. Wolf, you have approval to post for seasonal workers.
That immediately tomorrow morning, getting the paperwork together. Again, all 3 trustees will receive the paperwork showing what we're doing. Thank you, trustees. That's the end of my report.
Captain Flag, you have the floor. Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you, sir. Evening, trustees.
Good evening.
We've got a report here just to cover the month of February. Overall, our crime was the same as it was compared to February of 2020. We had the exact same number of calls for service, and we were down 40%. That's a total of 17 calls over January of 2021. Our Part 1 violent crimes decreased 200% over February of 2020 and increased 100% plus one additional call over January of 2021. Part 1 property crimes decreased 26% over February 2020, and they're down 67% over January of 2021. So these are like a year ago and then a previous month comparison. Part 2 violent crimes increased 21%. That's up 4 calls over February of 2020 and is down 31% over January of 2021. Simple assaults are what are driving that stat change. Crimes against society decreased 56% over February 2020 and decreased 67% over January of 2021. Areas along 35, the Platts and State Route 4 and the Platts back there, those routinely are our busiest areas. We did not receive any new community concerns for February. The deputies assigned to the township continued addressing the existing concerns such as abandoned cars, unlicensed cars, trailers, things of that nature that are in the neighborhoods. We made contact with 2 semi-drivers that were parked illegally, provided them copies of the parking resolution for the township. They apologized and have corrected the parking complaints there. Some of the ones I mentioned this last time, but some of the complaints that we're receiving still kind of fall under the governor's extension, which is until July on renewing registrations. So what we're primarily addressing is things without tags or things that were outside the window of the whole COVID-related pandemic. We made contact with 25 citizens that were somehow or other vehicle-related, not in compliance with the ORC. All but 7 of those folks complied with our request to either bring the vehicles into compliance by renewing tags, repairing flat tires, or moving them off the roadway. 7 did not. Some of those ignored the stickers that we placed on the vehicles. Some actually took it off and then just left the vehicles there after they pulled the stickers. So that resulted in 7 vehicles and or trailers being towed from the roadways. We have 8 more that are pending action that are just kind of in the window, the time frame of when we asked them to resolve the matter. So we'll continue to follow up on those. Locations that we had identified as either having a mutual involvement in for environmental crimes or that we felt may lean toward the code enforcement or zoning enforcement. We went out and made a list of ones that were lying between all of us. We took care of the ones that we could address directly. And then Deputy Aikman, who's assigned to environmental crimes, him and Tony McKee have been going out. They've gone out 3 different days now. They've made contact with the residents on those in that packet that we had put together. And we've kind of explained to people what we're doing, and why we're doing it. We have some door hangers and things that we hand out to assist people in scheduling the bulk pickups. Some of those can be kind of finicky based on the time and the placement of when that bulk pickup goes out. We had one over in on Hackett somewhere that they had it looked like a bunch of furniture dumped, but it was actually somebody had moved out, brought the furniture out for a bulk pickup, but it was too far from the curb, so they wouldn't pick it up. So we got with them, we got with Bob, got that type of thing straightened out to where they came and put it back on the schedule to pick up. So just little things like that where we can educate or make a little change and get things taken care of. And then, you know, some of them are a little bit bigger projects. I've been driving around just kind of taking a look at some of the places they did make contact, and some of them are actually out there cleaning and starting to take care of some of it. So hopefully that continues and we get some of the large appliances and things moved out of the yards and disposed of. Normally in October, we sign a contract to partake in the combined agency OVI task force. There's been a couple changes down at the prosecutor's office. We got somebody new that's reviewing the contract, so that actually got held up this year. We just got that signed and approved last week, so we're going to start utilizing some impaired driving saturation patrols throughout the county, including Jefferson Township. So just wanted to let you know that, make you aware. As Mr. Wolf mentioned a little bit ago, we have the Police Athletic and Activities League. I'm used to saying deputy, so police is hard for me. Police Athletic and Activities League is going to host their 6th annual Jefferson Township Easter egg hunt. This is going to be set up as a more of a drive-through style event rather than everybody getting out and picking up the eggs. That's going to be on April 3rd from 11 to noon. The plan is to use the entrance to 645 infirmary there, basically the Birdland Road extension leading into the fairgrounds, and just have them pull in there. We'll have the Easter Bunny and some deputies and then fires coming out to help us with that. And then we'll turn them left back out to Dayton Liberty. So if anybody wants to come, just take an eye of what's going on. Feel free to come out. Spoke with the Lori over at the fairgrounds. The plan for the 2021 Montgomery County Fair is to have a full-blown fair, rides, vendors, food, July 11th through 17th. And they'll just adapt to the regulations of the day. So whatever the order is when we get to July, that's what we'll we'll focus on and comply with. So that is in the planning stages. I was contacted by the events coordinator for the 9/11 Freedom Ride, which will be held on September 11th this year. It's a large motorcycle ride where they ride throughout multiple counties in honor of 9/11. And then there's some cars that take place in there. Last 2 years ago, they left the Calumet Center. Last year, they departed from Madison Lakes. And then this year, they're going to leave from the old Splash Moraine down in Moraine. But they will pass through Jefferson Township at some point. So we'll work with them just to kind of monitor the route and deal with any traffic issues that may result from that. They've not been bad in the past. Just maybe some of the larger roadways we'll put a car with the lights on just for safety purposes. But they usually get through fairly quick, and we haven't had any problems with that in the past. The January 21st, 2021 felony arrest I reported on a couple trips ago of a suspect that was involved in some ATV thefts. He's gone through the court and been placed on diversion for those in lieu of a felony conviction. So he is working through that felony diversion program. On February 6, 2021, we had a robbery at 6122 West 3rd, the Drexel Food Town. It's a strong arm robbery. The suspect attempted to steal some merchandise from in the store and got into a altercation with some of the staff members there in the store, resulting in the robbery charge. They were able to hold her there, so when we got there, we took her into custody without incident. Traffic during the month of February, we investigated 9 crashes. It's a decrease of 3 crashes when compared to last year. That's a 25% decrease. 5 property damage crashes, 4 minor injuries, and a total of 6 people claiming injury in those 4 crashes. 3 crashes, there were 3 crashes that were investigated as a hit and run, and none of them involved pedestrians or impaired drivers. Mondays were the busiest day. Failure to maintain reasonable control was the most common causative factor. And State Route 4 was the most prevalent roadway, accounting for 3 of the crashes. The others were kind of scattered out throughout the township, different roads and such. All the crashes that were reported as H&R, they remain open and under investigation by Jefferson Township deputies. We closed out 2 hit-and-run crashes from January 2021 due to insufficient evidence and an inability to identify drivers and vehicles. We made 47 traffic stops, issued 8 citations for moving violations, 2 speed citations, 5 driving under suspension citations, 6 non-moving citations, and 1 violation for impaired driving from the month of January. Blood results came back, so we went out and issued the citation on those. In the environmental crimes realm, there were no roadways cleaned in Jefferson Township because of the ongoing suspension of the inmate worker program related to COVID. I think we're going to lift that here very soon. We had a meeting on it this afternoon. Part of the problem with this is that with the COVID and so on and so forth, we've asked for a lot of misdemeanors to be summoned into the court rather than warrants being issued, for things that are nonviolent nature type crimes. So a lot of things have gone straight to the court, and they've been, sentenced bypassing the jail on things where it was appropriate. So the jail population has been down for those that would normally fit the criteria to come out and work. But I think we've got a pretty decent plan in place, and we're going to be able to likely get that running again here shortly. We had a guy dumping some tires on Lansdowne late last year. He went through the court, and he has pled to a lower charge of an F4 trespass and was sentenced to probation. Fines are still pending. We had a misdemeanor dumping that occurred at 120 Knox. We found and located a guy and charged him for that. He went to court and pled guilty, received a $100 fine and 6 days in jail. We had another misdemeanor dumping that we charged individual for on Keltner and Parsons. They pled guilty, received a $25 fine after pleading that down to disorderly conduct. We have a felony dumping charge from the 9,000 block of Forney Road. It's still with the courts, but we spoke with the prosecutor this week, and that suspect is also diversion eligible, and they're working on offering that diversion to that individual in lieu of conviction. So that'll likely be concluded here very shortly. Just a few stats for the month of February: 667 calls for service, 113 reports generated, 20 calls for forensic services, 4 felony arrests, 7 misdemeanor arrests. We checked 37 alarms. We had 8 animal complaints, 3 burglaries, 14 disorderly subjects, 8 domestic violations, domestic incidents or TPO violations. We had no drug complaints. We had no OVIs, 1 new dumping complaint, and 1 grand theft auto. We recovered 2 stolens, had 8 juvenile complaints, 10 mental health related calls, in which we continue to work with Eastway on. They actually came out and did a follow-up on 1 of them for us. 6 noise complaints, 17 peace officer requests, 59 PHCs, the 1 robbery, and 6 thefts, 21 vacation house checks, and 20 welfare checks. And that's all I have. Anybody got anything for me?
Does any citizens attending the meeting have questions for Captain Flagg?
I would like to say something if permitted.
Go ahead, you have the floor, Linda. Linda, identify yourself for the record before you.
Linda Rowley, 246 South Diamond Mill, New Lebanon. Captain Flagg, I would like to say thank you for everything that you do and for all of your employees for the fair upcoming. Without you guys, it would not go nearly as smoothly as it does. And I, for one, greatly appreciate you and your officers, as well as Chief Wilcox. You guys always make us feel secure, and I just appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much, and I'll pass that along to everybody because they do appreciate to hear kind words from time to time.
Captain Flagg, I'd like to make a comment also, Captain Flagg.
Yes, sir.
Again, I thank you for your service, and I know you'll do a good job at the fair. And I was just going to add a comment. You know, I spend a lot of time on the highway in my work, and I've seen a lot of inmates on the highways here lately with ODOT doing the interstate. So I'm sure that you are correct. It's a matter of time. We will get together because I'm sure they want to get out too. You know, I mean, get out and pick up some trash is a good thing to do. So I thank you very much for your service, and you have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You do the same.
President McGuire, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Captain Flagg, I forwarded a call to you a week ago or 2 about the individual interested in a car cruise-in at Arthur Fisher. Whatever happened on that? Were they having it, or was it canceled?
So, yeah, we spoke with him. His thought was that it wasn't going to be quite as big as it had become in some of our minds, like mine. I thought we were having a full-scale thing here. We directed him to Hank Stanley. He is working with Hank Stanley. Hank Stanley is letting him know what the ground rules are. We're going to follow up with him next week, and it sounds like it's just going to be kind of a small thing in a small section of the park, but I'll have more details on that here shortly.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Anybody else have questions or comments for Captain Flagg? Good. Last, Mr. Wilcox, do you have anything to add to Chief Wright's fire report?
No, sir. He pretty well covered everything we had this past 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. We're on to comments by citizens. If you take the floor, you need to identify your name and address for the record. And also, you have 3 minutes. would anybody like to address the trustees? Looks like, Bruce and Linda, do you have anything tonight? Looks like you're the only name we see on here.
No, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you. That concludes citizen comments. Trustee reports. Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you. Yeah, I just kind of starting a little process of driving down the roads and getting an idea what we're going to do for the summer. And I'm glad to hear that Captain Fly got a hold of Lori, and that the fair is going to be a full swing fair. That'd be good for the kids of the township, good for the kids of the county. It should be a good thing to go to, and hopefully, I know we got to watch ourselves and keep our masks on and keep the social distancing. But if you get a chance to get the shot, get the shot, and we will get over this. It will get better, and hopefully, we can become more transparent and take better care of the money for the residents of our township. That's all I got.
Mr. Mann.
The Montgomery County, the bus service, if you cannot get to get your shot, if you have need a ride, you can contact them and they will give you a ride to get your shot and bring you back. So just keep that in mind. And this is gonna be, we want to get these shots before this thing breaks out. So those things I say, as soon as you can get a shot, go ahead and take it. Thank you. That's all.
Just to add, for my report, to add to the other trustees' comments about COVID, I went down Saturday to the convention center, and it was well organized, well manned, and they got you in and out of there according to your appointment. And they did a really good job of managing the distance. And you could also see paramedic staff roaming the room to make sure that there was no complications with the shots. So I was very impressed with what they had going on to cater to the masses. And of course, I'm looking forward to getting things back to normal, to where we can, like the fair, get back to the normalcy that we all want. And it looks like we're heading in that direction, but we're not out of the woods yet. That's all I have for my report. Move to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we are adjourned at 8:05 p.m.